What's up?
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey y'all, welcome to Black Beyond. I'm Jazsalyn, creative director and curator, and today we're in conversation with Adrian Octavius Wallker.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Adrian Octavius Wallker. Like you just said, I'm a photographer from Chicago, from St. Louis, currently living in Chicago, Illinois. And yeah, I'm here for the Black people.
That's what's up. First and foremost, happy birthday. Yeah, how does it feel to be born on such a historic and significant day?
I mean, growing up, I didn't know anything about Juneteenth, because I wasn't taught. So,
Right.
but
Okay.
now, the fact that, which sucks, you know what I'm saying? So it's really dope now that, we are controlling our own narratives and telling our own stories and providing the information that is needed. So it feels
Period.
great. You know what I'm saying? It feels great. It feels powerful. So shout
Yeah.
out to all the Juneteenth babies out there.
So building off of that, I want to ask just like further, what are your thoughts on Juneteenth now that you've become more familiar with the topic in reference to the past and Afro-pessimism, the ending of slavery on June 19th, 1865, and
Right.
into the present, 155 years later, June 19th, 2020.
Word. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you think about freedom and what freedom really is. And I think it's one of those things like being a creator, being an artist, entrepreneur, or whatever I want to call myself. When I'm talking about like the folks that we're growing up amongst, like the artists and like the curators, the musicians and all that, they all talk about freedom in a way, many different ways. We have Solange, we have always like Mariba, we have freaking Jamila Woods, like all these different artists. And then you get into like the actual artists. So beyond the musicians, you talk about artists, like you look at Hank Willis Thomas, or you look at Latoya Ruby Frazier, and they're telling their stories about where they come from and like their narratives and stuff like that. And it all speaks about freedom in many different ways. Even if you like if that's not your like narrative or whatever, it's Black and it's talking about like a story that is within their upbringing, And for me, I think just being a part of that, symbolizes a lot when I think about Juneteenth. Like I said, I wasn't taught about Juneteenth in school, A bunch of my friends who are from Texas, they didn't learn about Juneteenth, And it's just kind of crazy, And a lot of my friends on the West Coast, like they didn't learn a lot about Black history. And I think that's just like a worldwide problem, because it's like it just covered. But then when you go into specific places around the world in different states, you're seeing all these statues of white men, and to us, they're just white men. But then when you look at the historical facts of these white men come from a very bloody Black background, due to enslaving us as a people. So it's kind of crazy that we are beneath everybody, and they remain on top. It's kind of backwards, And so, to me, like looking at that and knowing the truth and all that, it displays freedom. It explains freedom and what it means to us, because now, like I said, we get to control our own narratives. We get to tell our own stories, and we get to teach our peers and friends and family those things. And right now, within the thick of things and how things are going on these past couple of weeks with all the uprisings around the world, you're also seeing that. I don't know if you saw the latest, but in New Orleans, this woman was, she was in a cop car, and the city of New Orleans swarmed this cop car. They would not let the car drive off.
Wow, no,
and
I did not see that.
I started crying because I was just like, this is what Assata was screaming, you know what I'm saying? we must love and protect each other. You know what I'm saying? We have nothing to lose but our chains. And I was just like, God
Yeah.
damn, like that's crazy, you know? That's freedom. They freed that woman that day because
Really?
they was like, yeah, they let her out
Okay.
the car. They let her out the car. It's just like, no way. Like, they wouldn't let the car drive away. When I say they swarmed this car, it was nowhere this car can go. Nowhere. Unless they would have ran through them. And they didn't want to do that on national TV. It's no way.
Right.
They didn't. I mean, they could have. They had been doing some reckless stuff, but they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to be on the news. Not in New Orleans. Not in New Orleans.
Not in New Orleans. Not Nola,
They didn't.
baby.
No, they didn't want to. They still recovering from. They're still recovering from Katrina. You know what I'm saying? They still coping from that. They didn't want that. They didn't want that action. So,
right. They don't want no smoke.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just, it feels like it's some type of spirit that's awakening, you know? Like, I haven't seen this image yet, but all I can see is just like in my mind, like this swarm of like people just like.
Yeah, I'll send you the video. It was insane. And then the brother, of the woman, I guess it was his brother, because he kept saying, "Not my sister, not my sister," like that. And he said, "That's right, bitch. That's right. That's right." It was crazy. It was just like, it was just like I was full. You know what I'm saying? I was full from that. So yeah.
That's a way to put it, full. Just like full with like the spirit and like
exactly
sisters. That's what it feels like. I get emotional. I've pretty much been crying like every day for the past 2 weeks. And I
think that's also freedom. It's okay.
Yes, like I'm releasing, you know, like things that were so deeply embedded inside of me, you know, and it's just like, just even like the microaggressions that, you know, we deal with, like those things just like bubbling up to the surface, you know. It's like from pain, but then like you said, also like joy, being full, like, wow, I feel like I'm being or becoming now, you know?
Yeah.
I don't feel alone.
Exactly. I think in any space that we are in, we should feel like we belong there. You know, we should never feel like
she belonged, because she was like, you know what, they got me.
Yeah, they got me. It's just not going to be one of those situations. This is what they did to Sandra. You know, and we never forgave you. So that was like a bunch of Sandra Blands around her. You're not taking her. You're not taking her. You're not repeating history. Not today.
Not today.
That's what it felt like.
Well, I want to like ask some questions specific about your work.
Okay.
So we can segue into that. Speaking of like symbolism, it seems to be an important theme in your work. Specifically, do-rags have been like a recurring symbol for you. Can you elaborate on how the do-rag has changed and evolved over time?
Yeah. I mean, you know, for me in this series, the do-rags period have just always been symbolic, considering I always wanted waves as a child, as a kid, because my big brother had waves and I could never do it. You know what I'm saying? I could never take care of my hair to the point that you wave that shit up. You know, it was like, it's an art. It's definitely an art. And
I love that. It's like ritualistic.
It is, you know, and that's the thing. It's just like why I don't understand when white people just hate on everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you understand what's underneath this crown? You know, if I take it off, you won't even understand, which is fine. So you might as well just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me shine. You know, like, just please let me shine. You know, don't worry about why I have this on my head. And, you know, telling us that we can't go into a specific place because we have this thing on. You know what I'm saying? It's not hurting nobody. It's just it's like a hijab almost. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like you know, it's ours. You know, so for me,
it's cultural. You know.
Yeah, it's just like a representation of us.
It's like, how do you separate cultural and like religious, you know?
Exactly.
Are you to hold one necessarily above the other?
Right. Why do you even have to? You know what I'm saying?
Why do you have to?
Yeah, that's what you want to do. That's not what I want to do, you know? And even when it's done, if it is done, what do you gain from that? And it's power. You know what I'm saying? It's power. That's all it is. So for me, like, you know, during that series and stuff like that, I mean, speaking of the series is called We Matter. And before it was even a series, I was just literally taking photos of a friend's do-rag brand called OG Royale. And it's based in,
Okay, shout out.
yeah, based in LA. And, you know, once I got the film back from those images and stuff like that, and I was looking at them, I was just like, yo, these are speaking to me in a way, you know what I'm saying? It's speaking to me like I had never been spoken to before. Can we like fall back on like the original plan, the idea of these photos? And they understood. Like, yeah, sure, take your time. We trust you. It's whatever, you know what I'm saying? I said, I will, you know, hit y'all back with some images and stuff like that. But for now, I kind of want to sit on this. I want to rest on it. And so that's what I did. So I put some language together with a good friend in the Bay Area, Oakland, specifically. His name is Ryan Austin Dennis. Beautiful writer, beautiful man. And we came up with I came up with the series is We Matter. And these photos showcasing Black men who are possibly looked at as a threat.
Right.
You know, based off of them wearing this crown, you know, this do-rag, just protecting their hair, you know, just like a white woman when they put whatever they put in their head when they go to sleep, if they put anything on their head when they go to sleep.
Maybe
don't
a
even
satin
know.
Pillow.
Yeah, and we use that shit too, you know.
Right.
You know, it's just like, come on, man, you know, just get with the program, you know. And I just, you know, from there, the images, like, they all kind of told this story, you know. Every time I take photos, I'm thinking in my head that I have to tell some type of story, and that's what basically how they came out to be the way they look.
Yeah, there's like specifically like the pink do-rag. There's just like there's like a level of like tender, or yeah, it's just like it's a tender, gentle energy that I feel when I look at that photo.
Yeah, even the colors. I mean, even the materials of the do-rag, they're satin. You know, so it's just,
really?
yes. So symbolically, it's like, you know, when you think of like, not satin, I'm tripping, they're velvet.
Okay.
So like when you see something like velvet or whatever, it's really soft, it's plush. You think of royalty. You know what I'm saying? And
We
that's what it
matter.
is. Yeah.
So does like recontextualizing the do-rag also relate to redefining the standards of the Black male identity? An identity that has been massively criminalized in the United States?
I would just say the Black body has been criminalized in the United States. It's not just men, it's women too, you know what I'm saying? And what's really messed up to me when it comes down to women is just like, when a Black woman is taken, any black body is taken away, but when a Black woman is taken away, you know what I'm saying? It like really trips me out, because how the woman is treated versus the man, you know. And I don't try to turn it into like a versus, but it seems like it's always that. You got to think about the current issues with Breonna Taylor, you know, like they have yet done anything with her case, you know what I'm saying? And it's really fucked up, you know. Like, what more evidence do you need, you know? So what? Her boyfriend pulled out his strap, a bunch of fucking people busted in their house at nighttime.
They didn't know who it was.
They didn't know who it was, you know what I'm saying?
And she still died.
And guess what? They rich somewhere, hiding.
Okay, hiding.
You know, that's always happens. We die, they get rich. It's weird. It's pretty weird. It's pretty strange how that works.
Well, I feel like it's all connected, and that's why, like, thinking about Juneteenth and about how that's 155 years ago, and here we are in 2020, and this system of mass incarceration is still enslaving people. So
I don't think they understand that. You know,
no, they don't. I just don't think that. Yeah, it's kind of going back to like things being hidden. You know, like our history being hidden. It's all by design so that we don't question things.
Right.
But I think like, you know, ending policing is like the first step. Now, like, that's becoming a more like common thought, and people are looking into that more and trying to understand that, like, what does abolition really mean? Then the next layer, it's okay, mass incarceration, forced labor. Okay, how do we truly abolish policing and the prison system?
Right.
That's,
I mean, that, I think it all takes what happened in New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? Us coming together, us really getting an understanding of what all this really means.
yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Because I truly don't know what it all really means, you know what I'm saying? We get rid of police and it's just like, all right, we figured out a problem, you know what I'm saying? I got a good friend that's a cop in Oakland. And a part of his job honestly is to get the bad cops out of here, you know what I'm saying? Like, or teach cops how to be cops, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just that simple, you know? It's like, in other areas, a good friend of mine, he lives in Canada, he was telling me it takes like 1.5 years, close to 2 years or whatever to become a cop, something like that. Don't quote me.
Really? Not 6 months?
I don't know what the hell the system is here, but
I believe it's 6 months.
Yeah, it's not long enough, you know?
I think it's like, let's just get rid of like cop altogether and like have some other like form of community like safeguards, you know?
I think the community itself can come together if they really wanted to like kind of like bring some type of justice when it comes down to whatever is going on within neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Every neighborhood kind of has something going on. So I think the community, whatever, can change that. It's like the old heads in a community who used to do the game bang and all that shit. Then they get older, they have kids, they realize it was like, oh, I don't want y'all to go down this path. And it's kind of like them getting out there or whatever. It's just like kind of aligned with that, you know?
Some type of connection.
Yeah, you know?
You gotta be connected.
Yeah, we just can talk to each other, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. You know, I think like when it comes down, I mean, parenting is also a thing too, you know? I can't even really necessarily dive too far in there. I'm a parent, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes down to parenting, like I know how to parent my daughter, you know what I'm saying? At least think I'm doing a good job, or whatever. I want to do a good job or whatnot by putting the things in her world or whatever to get her, make sure she takes it all in, you know what I'm saying? Understands that she is special. She does mean a lot to everybody around her, and that she can be whatever she want to be, you know? It's just all about those paths that I guess like you take, and then you take your sibling, I mean your daughter, your son or something, or they down that path.
Yeah. And like you want them to be a part of a community that, you know, has the same intentions that you do for your
Exactly.
And you want to share that same intention for someone else's daughter. It's like all going back to like, we need to have some like ground level connection and respect, love and care for each other. Just organizing like within the community instead of bringing in some outsider that has some type of preconceived idea of a group of people.
Exactly. And that's that power that person wants to like have over so many other people and whatnot.
People that they don't know anything about, you know?
Right.
So I guess building off of that, when we were talking about the Black community and identity, I feel like we can't talk about Black identity without acknowledging the LGBTQ plus Black community.
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, and I guess what upsets me so much is that, you know, the LGBTQ plus community, their stories in this also get lost and left out of the narrative. So I'm wondering like what your thoughts are towards that, like on this journey to reimagine and define an alternate being for Blackness. How do we elevate all Black lives and demand justice for all of us along this journey?
It starts with respecting a living person, like a living organism. It doesn't matter if they were born one way and decided that that's not how they wanted to live their life for the rest of their life. They wanted to change. I have an amazing brother. He's transgender. And he's living his life. You know, he's happy. He wants to be happy. The world won't let him be happy. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to live his life. I don't think he lives his life in fear. I hope he doesn't live his life in fear, but you have no choice, because just by you changing yourself, some other person doesn't like that or wants you dead or want to harm and hurt you. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't get it, you know? It's like, where does that come from?
Hate is weird. Hate
is it like really, self-hate?
I want to look up the word hate and like kind of study it in a way, because it's like I don't necessarily I can't even think to myself where it's just like I don't like somebody to the point that I want to get rid of them.
Right.
Like, because even when that happens, it's like, now what? How did that make you feel? And then we go back to the word power again. Do you feel empowered by doing that? You know, even Black men who treat trans people wrong, you know, it's just like, or Black women, you know. I remember when I went to go see Queen and Slim, I forget her name, the woman's name who played in Queen and Slim. She's transgender. But these two women in front of us at the movie, they was like, that's a man. Like, and it's just like, what? All right, okay. Like, what, why?
Right. Like, how do we unlearn that? That's like something that I'm interested in unpacking as well. And I like started like reading Black on Both Sides by C. Riley Snorton. And it kind of goes into the history of like, you know, just like gender, and then like kind of like cross-dressing as like a part of I guess like escaping slavery, you know, like, kind of like similar to what as we all know, Harriet Tubman would disguise himself as a man so that they could pass as like another identity and go unnoticed, because like with like the slaves that are like people who were Black people who were free and who weren't were like documented and they were tracked. So yeah, I've just been kind of like looking into like the history of it all, you know, and it's like, if anything, we should have respect, you know, because that's part of our history. And if it wasn't for that, then a lot of us wouldn't have been free.
Yeah. I think everybody has a lot to learn on that front, you know, everyone. And I don't know why a person that chooses to live their life a certain way bothers the next person. Kind of doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like, if I choose to like eat clean one day, and then that one day I just want to have something fried or whatever. I said at one point I didn't want to have nothing fried, but I was like, you know what? It's whatever. I've been working out really, really good. You're gonna chastise me for wanting or eating something outside of what I haven't been eating. And it's just like, it's just a choice. You know what I'm saying? Life goes on.
Has nothing to do with you.
I'm still human. It's not even a mistake. It's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. You know, that's kind of how I look at that or whatever. So it's like choices folks make. I didn't make a terrible choice. It wasn't wrong what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll bounce back or whatever. It's fine. But I don't know. You know, I just kind of want to be in a no judge zone, you know?
Yeah. Like, everybody do their own thing.
Yeah, just do your thing. It's fine. I'm not going to bother you. You don't bother me. Do you, boo.
Okay, well, speaking of doing you, what's next for Adrian?
So right now, what I have been working on with a group of friends, we have like a Slack channel called Hella Creative, and we are a bunch
Hello.
of, right, we are a bunch of homies, Black women, Black men, some represent the LGBTQ community. It's people from all over. We
Nice.
we have these happy hours every Thursday, and we just talk. This
Mm.
this past Thursday, not yesterday, but last week, which was, I don't know the dates. I don't know when this is coming out, but whatever. We had a discussion about Juneteenth, and what came out of that was us celebrating that. And what we mean by celebrate is like really acknowledging it, and it being like a global holiday around the world. So I don't know if you've been like paying attention, but a lot of people have been like taking off or acknowledging Juneteenth, and because we built this whole initiative behind that, and we put some language behind it, and we put it out there to different companies,
That's
and people start
you.
gravitating to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty wild how it took off from
That's
like
hella cool.
yeah, yeah. Fast Company just did an article on us today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, the goal is to get every company we can, you know what I'm saying, on board. So, and then throughout all this, it's just all about education,
Mm-hmm.
educating people. We're not asking for anything. We just want people to acknowledge what has already been there since the jump.
Yeah, that's what's up. I respect you doing that work. I didn't
Right
know
on.
that you were behind that. I have been seeing that, popping all up over my feed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this company is acknowledging it, that company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a group effort, It's a group effort. So I'll be sending you information about the event that we're looking to do on the 20th. So
Yeah,
coming up, and
yeah,
yeah, it should be fine. I mean, we're just basically trying to spread awareness about the Black community. We're basically doing the same shit that everybody else could have did for themselves a long time ago. But it took it took a new revolution to realize these things. So it's fine. It'll be fine. I hope it'll be fine.
yeah. I think it is. We needed a little bit of a reminder of
Mm-hmm.
who we are, what we deserve, and how much more work we need to do.
That's how I look at it. A reminder. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you have any other like projects that you're working on, like work-wise, like creative?
Right now, I mean, I have stuff like in my head, but nothing that's like I took out and to do just yet. It's just like everything is like kind of like a work in progress right now, especially since I'm like not working a 9 to 5, so I'm still kind of adjusting to not having a job and having that freedom to pretty much do whatever I can in the mix of like parenting and all that stuff too. So
Yeah, it definitely does take some adjustment, to like
right.
yourself.
Yeah, I think right now, I think the best thing for a lot of us as creatives is to take time out for self, if you can. It's pretty tough to think about that, but at the same time, I think like that's the best thing. That's one of the greatest thing we can do for ourselves or whatever, because
Yeah.
it's easy to drive yourself crazy.
You hit a nerve. You hit a nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some self-care is definitely in store in the future. I will.
True. Yeah. Turn your phone off every day at 8:00. You'll be all right.
Maybe after this launch, yes. Yes. But I don't know, it was important for me to find a place to channel all these emotions. I mean, this was like a project that, we've been working on since November of last year, and decided to like bring it online, and then everything just started unfolding one thing after another in 2020. And it was hard to like work through it when all these anti-Black attacks were happening on our community. Like, they're always happening, but like so publicly. you know, and the details of them, and in combination of like the loss with COVID-19 on the Black community. So it's like, what to do with all that, you know? Is there a way to channel that into a way to help others?
It's a lot to unpack, period. You know, so many things that we got to think about.
It is a lot to unpack.
We already got a lot of shit on our plate, you know. Add more to it, you know. Just insane. So I think, like I said, self-care is like the best thing that we can do for ourselves in the midst of all this.
You're right. Everyone's coping with it differently, you know. Everybody.
Yep. Everybody. Yeah. That's so true. A good friend of mine, he don't know what to do because he travels. That's what he do, like for a living, travel. He goes to different places and he works on the projects that he's doing. So sitting still for him is not really doing anything for his mental psyche or whatever at all.
Yeah, you got to check in on each other, going back to like community, love and care for the community.
Yep, very true.
Even the ones that you think are strong.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I'll be your counterpart if you need it. I got you.
You got me. All right, I got you. Got each other.
Got you.
It's like I keep thinking about that song. Baby, don't worry about where I've been.
I would swear I was just listening to like nonstop. The Roots.
What?
I do. Yeah. I think it was last Wednesday. I was playing it over and over and over again.
Yo, I had to listen to that, and I had to put on some gospel. I had to dig. I was like, yo, I gotta find.
I'll send you my gospel playlist.
Yeah, send me. Yeah,
I hit it with you. I hit it to you. Let me know how you feel about it.
Yes, that is what got me through that week, I tell you.
I bet.
I had to go back, put on the Clark Sisters, some Fred Hammond.
All that. Nope.
Well, I feel like those are all the questions I had.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was a good conversation. We seem like we've been knowing each other for a couple of months.
Right.
2 months.
2 months, very specific. All right. Yeah.
Probably definitely longer than that. And I'm pretty sure once we get in sight, in person, and seeing each other, I don't know if we'll be wearing masks or not, you know.
I'm going to be wearing a mask.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I just can't wait to this little, if it is ever over, but I'll be wearing a mask too. But yeah, we'll meet up very, very soon. Yes,
we got to.
For sure. Well, so yeah, I owe you a playlist, and whatever else you need from me, I got you.
All right, yeah, we'll be in touch.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining me, us, Black Beyond.
For sure. Shout out to Black Beyond.
Shout out to Hella Creative.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.